Let's continue with the chapter. Once comfortable, he would take the soap in his hands or feet and rub himself all over. So he would not, bother anyone else to, give him a bath. He would himself take the soap in his hands or feet and he would rub all over himself with the soap. So when the water became cold, he would get out and run as quickly as he could to the kitchen fire in order to dry himself. If anyone laughed at him during this performance, Toto's feelings would be hurt and he would refuse to go on with his bath. So he would feel offended if anybody would laugh at him seeing his performance. So one day Toto nearly succeeded in boiling himself alive. A large kitchen kettle had been left on the fire to boil for tea, and Toto, finding himself with nothing better to do, decided to remove the lid. So he was in dire need of hot water, so he removed the lid of the kettle with hot water inside it. So finding the water just warm enough for a bath, uh, sorry, finding the water just warm enough for a bath, he got in with his head sticking out from the open kettle. So he actually sat inside the kettle and it was still boiling. The water was still boiling. This was just fine for a while until the water began to boil. Toto then raised himself a little, but finding it cold outside, sat down again. So he continued hopping up and down for some time. Why was he hopping up and down? Because he sat inside a burning kettle where the water was boiling inside it. So until grandmother arrived and hauled him half boiled out of the kettle. So grandmother, she saw that what Toto is doing and she took him out of the kettle. If there is a part of the brain specially devoted to mischief, that part was largely developed in Toto. So he was a very, very mischievous monkey. He was always tearing things to pieces. Whenever one of my aunts came near him, he made every effort to get hold of her dress and tear a hole in it. So he would, put a hole in uh, the dresses. One day at lunchtime, a large dish of pulao stood in the center of the dining table. We entered the room to find Toto stuffing himself with rice. So he was actually feeding himself. My grandmother screamed and Toto threw a plate at her. So he threw a plate at the grandmother. One of my aunts rushed forward and received a glass of water in the face. So Toto splashed water on one of the aunt's face. When grandfather arrived, Toto picked up the dish of pulao and made his exit through a window. So he picked up the uh, you know dish of pulao and he went outside through the window. We found him in the branches of the jackfruit, the dish still in his arms. He remained there all afternoon, eating slowly through the rice, determined on finishing every grain. So he decided that he would finish each and every single grain from the dish, and then only he will you know come down. And then, in order to spite grandmother who had screamed at him, he threw the dish down from the tree and shattered with delight when it broke into chattered with delight when it broke into 100 pieces. And after eating all of the pulao, he threw the plate onto the ground and the dish broke. Obviously Toto was not the sort of pet we would keep for long. Even grandfather realized it. So all these instances, it showed that Toto should not be kept in a house. That's not the proper habitat for a monkey. We were not well to do and could not afford the frequent loss of dishes, clothes, curtains, and wallpaper. So grandfather found the Tonga driver and sold Toto back to him for only 3 rupees. So he sold back Toto to the Tonga driver. So this was all about the poem The Adventures of Toto.